I'm going to go into the next section and pour one out for my weekly picks. And I guess I'll pour one out for myself as well, since I kind of have to leave the state of Utah now that RSL lost to Toronto. So it was nice knowing you guys, but you won't see me here next week.
Anybody watching this show, if you're a good realtor outside of state, let us know. Drop a comment. Your boy Fernando needs someone. He needs somebody to help.
Give me a good state to move to. I'm going to move to New York. Just kidding. But yeah, so speaking of, I'm just going to go right into my weekly picks. I did my pour one out just to get it out of the way. So I'm going to go first into my player of the week, and I'm just going to share my screen just so you guys can kind of see some of the stats I'm looking at. I'm actually going to go with Ferreira because I had him kind of high up at the beginning of the season, and I feel like he hasn't had the best season so far, but he did have 2 assists this week, kind of making up pace for Rusnak and what's his name? Why can't I think of it right now? Jordan Morris. So yeah, he came in, he helped the team win by giving 2 assists, helping with that Rusnak being out, and Jordan Morris coming in the 62nd minute, but not doing too much. The game was pretty much over by the time he showed up, which I think was kind of one of the things I had said was like, if he comes in once the game's over, I don't see him doing much. That's kind of how it was. Like to see Jesus Ferreira doing good for his club. He's only 24 years old, so he's only going to get better as the time comes and as he plays a bit more. Switching to a new team can sometimes leave a bit of, like growing pains, I guess. He's played in Dallas for his entire career, and he just came to the Seattle Sounders. He's, instead of all that dry heat, he's now in the humidity.
That's
I think this game should help him get more used to everything. And then my game of the week was actually this Charlotte game against San Diego, just because I feel like they, not possession wise, dominated them, but I just feel like anytime they had the ball, they were just kind of all over San Diego, which is kind of, I don't want to say surprising, because I just feel like it's kind of just the way this league goes. A team that freaking won 6-0 the week before is going to lose like 1-0, 2-0 to like one of the worst teams in the league. So not too surprising, but yeah, it was just, I had full faith in San Diego winning, and they just got completely dominated. Like, as you can see right here with the total shots, they had 16, and I believe 11 of them were on target, versus San Diego's 9 shots all game, and only 2 of them were on target. With those kinds of shots, you're never gonna, I mean, I guess you can't say never, because sometimes you do see 1 shot, 1 goal, 1 on target, But yeah, so especially when you're trailing in a game, you want to make sure you're getting as much shots as possible. Kind of being like Barcelona today and taking 40 shots on goal, which is crazy. Even though they only won 1-0, like the fact that somebody shot 40 shots in a match, so.
Yeah, he's got to represent, man. I get it. Yeah, dude, those are some solid stuff. I mean, San Diego, man, I don't know. I feel like it's 2 straight losses now, right? Kind of insane. And I do remember that Seattle game. I was watching a little bit of it. Like, all of those goals came within like the first 35 minutes. And I would be like, if I was watching that game like in person, I'd be thinking, what the hell? This whole game just ended in 35 minutes. And now I got to wait through the rest of this game, and there's nothing else going on.
That's how it felt when I went to the RSL LA Galaxy game. Diego Luna scored 2 goals, like pretty much like straight off the bat, and then I just feel like the LA Galaxy didn't want to win after, and it was just passing back and forth.
Yeah, those are tough to get through sometimes, but solid stuff, man. I really liked your pour one out. Just saying, but good stuff, dude, all around. Loved it. Lopez, Chino, Peasy.
Simon.
Hit us up, my guy.
Let's get it. Starting out with my cracked team of the week. I poured one out for them last week. It seems that they listened to the podcast and took that shit personal. 5-3 win, Sporting Kansas City, scoring late in the 73rd and 85th minutes to just absolutely capitalize. Just San Jose put up a fight, had a 94th minute goal at the very end of the game there, but Sporting Kansas City, man, good stuff. I didn't get to watch the game. I got to see the score at the very end and at the very beginning, and it was quite the shock. And after pouring one out, it seems that they have it figured out.
Yeah, it was a solid one for sure. I remember texting you about it, and it was like, dude, I think I started watching at like the 15th minute, and it was like 3-0. I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm turning this thing off. This is ridiculous.
No, man, it's just absolutely nutty. But yeah, no, San Jose is still putting up 3 goals. Good stuff. Not bad, but Kansas City, they're just built different. But on that same note, I'm going to butcher this last name. Same team, correct player of the week, Daniel Saloy contributed a career best 4-goal contributions with 2 goals and 2 assists in Sporting Kansas City's 5-3 victory. He scored in the 21st and 73rd minutes, and it was just, like I said earlier, just crazy to see my phone see that they were just putting up points. So I don't know, man. Maybe this week I have to pick my pour one out. Who knows? Maybe. But on that note, my pour one out. Let's pour one out for LA Galaxy. Game lost, season ass, but this is their week, baby. This is their week.
This is it. Oh, hey, did you hear that? Fern, did you hear that?
Yeah,
you heard that, right?
This is the week.
Okay, so this clipping it. I'm clipping this now because there's been a bit of an argument here going on about when Galaxy is going to start to turn on the Jets. We believed it was at the beginning of this month, but now it's at the end of this month. Gonna find out.
I had him coming. I had their comeback coming last week, and that definitely didn't happen. So. Also, Did you point out that Sporting Kansas City hasn't scored 5 goals in a game since 2019?
Dang,
I did not. I did not.
Started pointing it out.
Been a minute, man. That's probably a nice little surprise for him, for sure. I don't think they knew they were going to score 5 goals, that's for sure, but pretty solid stuff.
It's almost like you had those points pulled up as if they were your pick of the week.
Almost. Pretty close. Nice, dude. Solid stuff, bro. Love that, man. All right, going into my correct performances of the week. For those of you that don't know and have been kind of watching it a little bit, the correct performances are primarily just our favorite player, our favorite game throughout the last week. And then at the very end, we pour one out for a team, a player that probably did not perform to their best abilities. So just so you all know, that's kind of what this whole segment is about. But to get mine started, my correct game of the week, Portland Timbers versus LAFC. Wild game, man. I thought it was a pretty fun one to watch. It did end up in a tie, 3-3, which I know we don't like ties around here. But I thought, what a game to watch, and what a game for LAFC to just continue to fight back from. I don't know if you guys watched this one, but Bouanga got called for offsides twice. So this game could have been 5-3. But also, Portland, they're good, man. They're a lot better than I thought. I think at the beginning of the season, I was like, dude, they're probably not going to be very good. But they're balling. They're doing a very good job, attacking and really controlling the pace of the game. Olivier Giroud gets his goal for LAFC with a free kick. Very good free kick taken, to be honest. But I do believe this is his first goal at LAFC. Fern, you're the Czech guy. You're the checking guy. I believe that is correct. He has been with the team 2 years now, I believe. And this was his very first goal that he has scored for LAFC.
It's not his first goal. It's his first goal since last year.
Okay, so he has scored before with LAFC.
Yeah, because he scored 1 goal against Sporting Kansas City in September 25th of 2024. Or actually, you know what? I think it might be his first MLS regular season goal.
Okay, that might be what it is.
Yeah, because his first goal was in the U.S. Open Cup, and then he scored another goal last year as well, but that was in the Leagues Cup. So this actually is his first league goal. So yeah.
Right. But Giroud's very first MLS regular season goal. Wild, because this guy has been on some pretty dang good teams and has been on the biggest stage of them all, the FIFA World Cup with France.
If I'm not mistaken, he's France's all-time top scorer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. So that's it is very weird to see kind of that stat coming out of him for sure. Like I said, at the end of the day, 3-3, 29 total shots, 7 big chances created. VAR also was in this game at the very, very end. I think it was almost the 89th minute or 90-something minute. They gave LAFC a penalty, which Bouanga got. Bouanga scored the penalty. So VAR strikes again, right? They kind of dictated the game in that way. So it had a little bit of everything. And then at the very, very end, they gave him 11 minutes of stoppage time. At the 95th minute, Portland had a free kick, and this thing went off the crossbar, dude. Wild. So it could have been, a 4-3 game. It could have been 5-4 game. Like it could have gone a lot of different ways, but it was fun to watch. And the people out there in Portland, honestly, they like their team a lot. They always come out and support. So good on them for sure. But that was my correct game of the week. For my correct performance, my correct player of the week, I'm going to have to give it to João Pedro for DC United, midfielder. But he scored both of the games in the win against the New York Red Bulls. I think he got like a 9.1 player rating. Honestly, it's kind of been his best game of the entire season, but he played well. And I think the main reason why I wanted to pick him was because those 2 goals were just sick. Like they were really, really good goals. You guys will have to go back and watch them if you didn't see them already, but they were some sweet goals that I think they'll be on like highlight reels for the end of the year of like, hey, these are some of the best goals that were scored throughout the season. So good on him, man. Good on Peglo. I think he'll be, someone to kind of watch. He was named on the team of the match day for week 9. So good on him, dude. He did pretty well this last week. Now for my pour one out, this is going to be a little bit of a winded pour one out here, but pouring one out. Oh, and I'm so sorry, Peglo. Apologies, good sir. Let me crack one open for you. There it is. Apologies. I forgot. I got carried away.
I completely forgot to pour.
Do it right now.
I'll do it.
Love it. Perfect. So yeah, like I said, my pour one out for this last week, I'm going to have to give it to Columbus Crew. Because yes, they lost to Miami, but I think they lost the entire day as a whole. The game was a little bit wild, right? I think we all were expecting a bit of a better game, maybe a bit of a more higher scoring game. But just so you guys know, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but they did move the game, right? So it was supposed to be at lower.com field where Columbus typically plays. I believe it holds about 20,000 fans, but they moved the game to Huntington Bank Field where the Browns play, which hold 60 plus thousand. I think it's like 65,000 fans. So it's a much bigger stadium, right? Obviously, you're going to do what you got to do when you're expecting at least 60,000 fans to show up to this game. But if you guys didn't watch this game, there was so much pink in this stadium. It was wild. I did want to share something too that I saw on social media from posts that I saw. It was from one of the Columbus Crew supporters pages, and I did want to just comment on it a little bit here because I think it's a little bit interesting, kind of how this game went. This guy says basically this guy was born and raised in Cleveland. When it comes to the MLS, he only supports one team, right? And that's the Columbus Crew, right? But he says, when I got downtown on the day of the game, he said, I saw Messi jerseys everywhere, right? At the time, I thought it was just a casual excitement. Didn't really realize it was foreshadowing basically the entire match. This guy said, from the moment I walked into the stadium, it was obvious. This didn't at all feel like a home match, okay? Mind you, this is in Ohio. It's not in Miami. And it says almost everyone around me was in Inter Miami and Messi gear. And while I definitely expected some of that, being in a city 2 hours from your home, it still absolutely infuriated me how loud the crowd got every time Messi so much as touched the ball. Okay. The atmosphere was flat out disappointing. You got to give credit where credit's due. Moving the game to a bigger field. You obviously want to have, your crowd there, but they didn't allow tifos or banners. They didn't allow any of that. And they didn't bring their main supporter section. They didn't give them a spot in the other stadium. So given all that, I said, it's no surprise the atmosphere was terrible. Every time we tried to get the Columbus chat going, people in the section would just yell Messi instead. Said at the end of the day, this was a massive failure from the Columbus Crew organization. It's very clear this wasn't about growing the game. It wasn't for the fans. It was a business decision. Oh, pouring one out for Columbus for that one because I think, I get it, right? Messi's coming to town. You want to go watch him. You want to support him. But for God's sake, dude, if you're in Columbus and you're a Columbus Crew fan, support your damn team, man. I get it. It's Messi. Support your team, though. It's ridiculous. I'm curious what you guys think.
You'll catch me at an RSL game with the Messi jersey on, bro. I don't care. That's all I'm saying.
I literally have a picture with him in the Messi jersey at an RSL game. It's I can see it both ways, right? Where it's just okay, would there have been still a massive Messi fan turnout at this game had it been at lower field, right? Lower.com field? I don't know. Is it is it just the excitement of attracting Messi? Would that home field advantage even have mattered, or would it still have been 50 overrun with Messi fans. I don't know. It sucks having a game moved about 150 miles away. I had to look that up from where you're at. And I really don't believe that it's like, oh, that the Miami fans turned out. It literally just is Messi fans. So it really becomes that business decision. But at the end of the day, man, like, it's a business. The MLS is going to do what they're going to do. They're going to move it to a bigger stadium because they know that people want to go watch Messi play. They got to do what they got to do to make money. And I really do believe that this is an overall good for the MLS, in my opinion. But open to hear more opinions.
Yeah, I love Messi League soccer. You know, it's my favorite time of the week. I mean, it makes sense to open up the stadium. It kind of sucks because you move out of what you're used to. So technically, yeah, it's a home game, but at the same time, it's kind of not because even though it's only 2 hours away, I live about like 2 hours away from the RSL stadium, and honestly, that kind of does deter me a little bit. Like I can't. I mean, I guess I could technically go to the RSL games every weekend they play, but having to do that 2 hour trek all the time is kind of like a deterrent for me a little bit. So I can kind of see, like, you know, obviously the biggest fans will go. And if you're moving the stadium to a bigger place and Messi's there, then most of the people going there are unfortunately going to be going for Messi. Fortunately, unfortunately, however you see it. And yeah, I mean, and then even like not even just like leaving your home stadium. As I was watching the game, they were talking about how the field is actually smaller at the stadium that they were playing at because it's a football stadium, and most of the time soccer fields are a little bit bigger than like a football field, kind of like a bit wider, kind of stuff like that, because you know you need to be able to move, kind of, you want to spread out the field as much as you possibly can, because if everybody's condensed and there's nowhere to pass the ball. So you know what, maybe that had something to do with it. But I was watching the game and I feel like it wasn't too bad. I feel like the Columbus Crew, yeah, right? Am I
Yeah.
tripping? The Columbus Crew, they played pretty. They played pretty well. They had some pretty dangerous moments, and I just feel that this is one of those games where it's either going to be super high scoring, you know, like you get a bunch of goals, or it's going to be one of those games where everybody's playing super defensive. They don't want to lose. So you let in one goal and that's it, you know, and that's kind of what happened here. They let in the youngster Kramaski come in and just score that header and win the game. But I mean,
Yeah.
anytime Messi's in town, you're just gonna see pink jerseys, unfortunately. So you guys just got to
Yeah.
get used to it.
Yeah, and I get it, man. At the end of the day, look, I understand that. I expected it too. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But it infuriates the hell out of me just because I get it. It's a big time player. He's a big time name. He's going to sell tickets. He's going to get people in seats. He's going to want
He's
everybody's gonna be excited.
the big time player.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a fan just like as much as the next person, but it infuriates me where a fan base can just turn on itself in a way just for one player. Like if you even in like the best of times when we had, you know, the Cristiano Ronaldo versus Leo Messi era of like them being in Real Madrid versus, you know, Barcelona, like you're not seeing a Messi jersey in the Bernabeu. You're not seeing a Ronaldo jersey in Camp Nou. Like, dude, if you're gonna compete against Messi, like show up, dude. Like you gonna have to like come up in here and be like, yo,
They're very
don't
strict
cheer
about
this
though
guy
in Europe
on.
though.
Yeah, don't come over here and like cheer the guy on, like boo the guy. Like you want to beat Messi. Like what the hell are we doing? I get it. He's a good player, but like if he came to Real Salt Lake, I do the same thing. I put on a Real Salt Lake jersey every time he touches the ball. I'd be like, yo, your shoes untied. Yo, like mess up. Like I want RSL to beat Miami. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. I don't want Messi to just go undefeated with Inter Miami this whole season. How exciting is that?
Me either.
Whatever.
He's oh my gosh, poor Chuck. He's a cultural phenomenon, man. That's all I gotta say. He is just one of those people who has attracted young fans. I apologize for my dog barking in the background, but at the end of the day, the Messi effect overall is going to be a net good for the MLS, especially as they attract more and more talent from Europe, in my opinion. So that is my piece.
For sure, for sure. I would just like to see more people like not just ride this guy. That's all I'm saying. I get it. He's a good player. He's He's gonna go down as probably the best to ever play it. But stick to your team, man. Stick to what you've been, you know, supporting this whole time. That's
Yeah.
my 2 cents. Good stuff though. I mean, love the little banter back and forth. I always love to kind of, you know, have those discussions with you guys and just kind of see y'all's opinions. But again, pouring one out for Columbus Crew. I still think they're a great team. I hope this doesn't give them in a little bit of a slump, but we'll continue to kind of see how both of these teams go. If Inter Miami go undefeated, damn. that would be pretty insane if they continue to look for like a Kevin De Bruyne. Like that'd be kind of insane.